to the NFC West Roundtable, a weekly live show featuring top-tier insight and analysis on all things NFC West from the best creators in the division, including Los Angeles Rams creator Jake, San Francisco 49ers creator Jesse, Seattle Seahawks creator Brandon, and Arizona Cardinals creator Mike. Catch the NFC West Roundtable every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern on the NFC West Roundtable YouTube channel. What is up, NFC West football fans, and welcome into another edition of the NFC West Roundtable. Week 3 of the 2025 NFL season is in the books, and what an insane week of football it was. On tonight's episode, we recap the two winners in the division and the two teams who suffered their first loss of the season. And then, of course, on the back half of the episode, we preview Week 4, which kicks off with an NFC West showdown on Thursday night. We'll give you our predictions, and we'll preview the upcoming week. But for now, let's talk about what we saw in a wild Week 3 this past weekend. Let's bring in the fellas, Mike, Jake, Jesse, and Brandon. Brandon, just when I thought you couldn't look better last week, with the hat on, you look even better with the shades on. Well-deserved. Sam Darnold and company, a dominant victory. Jesse, Mac Jones continues to roll. Mike, 1 point shy. Good thing we didn't do the hat bet, I guess, right? It always kind of at 1 point would have been a killer.
Yeah,
would have been a killer. And then Jake, speaking of killer, man, oh man, what a game that was. But on the wrong end of one of those, or a time or two in my life, we'll talk about what was one of the games of the weekend. Tough to pinpoint what was the game of the weekend. There were so many crazy outcomes. That Rams-Eagles game was certainly one of them. But let's start within the division. Let's start with the battle between Jesse and Mike. The Niners took on the Cardinals on Sunday afternoon, and Mac Jones goes 2-0 as the starter of the San Francisco 49ers. 16-15, the final score. Was that scoregami, by the way, or was it close? Had to have been, right? We don't see a whole lot of 16-15s in the NFL. But that's what it wound up finishing at. Christian McCaffrey, a light day. Once again, Mac Jones, Kyle Shanahan's putting him out there as if he's been playing with him for the last decade. Christian McCaffrey, 17 carries, only 52 yards, but Mac Jones gets 41 pass attempts in this game, just south of 300 yards, and another victory. Meanwhile, on the other end of things, Kyler Murray, 22 of 35, 159 on 35 attempts with a touchdown. Marvin Harrison Jr., 44 yards, a drop or two in that game I'm sure Mike's going to want to talk about. But nonetheless, a win for the Niners to improve to 3-0 despite the injuries. The Cardinals suffered their first loss of the season. I'll start with the winner here. Jesse, I'll give you the floor. This is 2 weeks in a row where the injuries continue to pile. And of course, I need you to talk about Nick Bosa now being out for the injury, or out for the season rather, with an injury. Yet another devastating blow to these Niners, yet they somehow continue to be resilient, keep rolling 3-0. Talk to me about what you saw over the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, great game. Really fun game, first of all. It was low scoring, but defenses were on fire. Arizona's defense is really good, and they were without their secondary. The 49ers had a ton of injuries at receiver, so it kind of evened things out. But it was just a fun game to watch. I got to say that game certainly turned on the drive that you're talking about, where Marvin Harrison had the massive drop. Then DeMarcado has a drop as well. Easy walk-in touchdown. That's 7 points twice taken off the board. And you've got to wonder what is going on with this Cardinals offense. I entered the season thinking that the Cardinals were a team that could compete for a playoff spot, and that defense was for real. Maybe they make a trade at wide receiver, but I have zero faith in that offense, like absolutely none. There's nothing over there that scares me as a 49er fan, even without Bosa. Bosa goes out, you still couldn't put the ball in the end zone. And it's really bad over there offensively for Arizona. I'm sure that there's a lot of infighting. Is it the offensive play caller? Is it Kyler? Is it the whatever it is, there's a problem over there. And it's usually not one thing. It's not just the coach. It's not just Kyler or the receivers. It's a little bit of everything. There's nobody over there that is explosive enough to take the top off. It allows everybody to just get in the box and stop James Conner, who also got injured. Gosh, prayers go out to him. That's probably potentially a career ender for him. I mean, he's an older running back, so that's too bad. And ultimately the Cardinals just couldn't get it done when they needed to. They just couldn't score the points. And Mac Jones, man, listen, it wasn't perfect. He's a backup quarterback. Last week I talked about 39 attempts and how rare that is that happens in this offense. And Kyle Shanahan always seems to do this with his backup quarterbacks. But then he comes out and gets 41, which is more than Brock Purdy's attempted in any of his games. He's attempted 41 time, and that was in his 39th start. Mac Jones doing 39 and then 41 back-to-back weeks is absolutely crazy to me. And he did enough. I mean, he did enough. He threw a pick. He did the Jimmy Garoppolo thing where he's the arsonist and the firefighter. He throws the pick. It ends up being costly. And then he comes back and drives him down the field in crunch time, and the 49ers get the win. Mac Jones did more than what was expected of him. I believe that Brock Purdy should be back this week. He was close to playing last week. I think he'll make his second start here this week. And Mac Jones re-aggravated his knee as well. So he did so with an injury, being under duress. 3 offensive linemen had a pass block win rate that was awful. It was like 30-something%. It was terrible. So Mac Jones did his thing. He did enough. And the 49ers are getting an influx of talent back. Brandon Ayuk will be back by week 6. Malik Mustafa will be back by week 6. Kittle will be back by week 6. Demarcus Robinson will be back this week. Jennings should be back this week. Brock Purdy should be back this week. So the talent is getting added to this team. The unfortunate thing is Bosa went down. And so the question becomes, do you replace Bosa? Do you go try to trade for a Kayvon Thibodeau or something like that? I don't think the 49ers should. The whole point of this season for the 49ers was to learn how to win close games. Check, they're doing that. It was to develop those young players. Check, they are doing that. And the last thing was to roll over as much cap space as possible, because the future of this team is really what you're looking at. It was never about the 2025-2026 season. And if you go spend assets, you're going to take away from future draft picks that are going to be important, and you're going to take away from future money. This team is 3-0. I appreciate that. I still think they're the second best team in the division. I still think they're going to make the playoffs with 10 wins. They're not a Super Bowl contending team, in my opinion. A true Super Bowl contending team with Bosa, you're not going to get a Kayvon Thibodeau or somebody like that and be a true Super Bowl contender. So don't waste the assets. Develop these young guys. Get the influx of talent back on offense. Kyle Shanahan and the offense can go win games, and I think they can get to 10 wins still. I'm very confident in that.
In your opinion, why has Kyle Shanahan utilized Mac Jones the way he has the last 2 weeks? You mentioned how it's not really the same with Brock Purdy. It's really remarkable to have a backup quarterback go out there in 2 weeks and throw the amount of attempts that he does, and it obviously leads to victories, but is there a reasoning behind it in your mind, or is it just, hey, go out there, sling it, let's get it done?
Kyle Shanahan's a quarterback polygamist, and every time that a backup comes in, he loves to show him off. He did it with Nick Mullins, he did it with Brock Purdy, and he's doing it with Mac Jones. I don't understand the reasoning for it. Now, the football reason is, well, you're not able to run the ball as effectively as you have been, and so you got to throw it all over the yard. I get that, but Brock Purdy only had 35 attempts in week 1. He didn't have 41. He didn't have 39. So, yeah, I mean, he loves to showcase backup quarterbacks for whatever reason. I don't understand it. And another piece of evidence in that is 49er fans, we know how frustrated we get in the 2-minute drill right before half. How many times has Kyle been super conservative and just gone in and tried to get a field goal, and they end up leaving with no points? Not with Mac Jones. It's like the whole offense is open to him. Go ahead and do your thing. And he just boom, boom, boom right down the field. Did it in back-to-back weeks. 1 to win the game, 1 to score right before half. I don't understand it, but Brock Purdy's certainly good enough to execute and do the same things. Is why he doesn't, I'm not sure. It's strange.
Mike, unfortunately, it's a game of inches. The Cardinals fall an inch short in this one. What a strange game. 6-6 going into the fourth quarter. That's when it got interesting. Jake's all-time favorite NFL player, Kyle Juszczyk, gets in the end zone early in the fourth quarter, gives the Niners the lead. Then Trey McBride ties it up. Then a safety winds up giving the Cardinals a 2-point lead. Eddie Pinheiro, by the way, with the game-winning field goal. I know we were having discussions about Jake Moody this offseason, so it's good for Niners fans to see Eddie Pinheiro nail the game winner. But, Mike, where were you at in this one in the fourth quarter? The Cardinals tie it up, and they take the lead on the 2-point conversion. Fell in the end. Your overall takeaway in a game where your Cardinals score 15 points, yet still fall just 1 point shy despite the defensive effort.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, the Arizona Cardinals defense is pretty legit with all the injuries that we've been enduring. Now, I'm not going to come out here and say top 10, but, I think so far with what we've been doing, we've kept all these teams that we played. And I know, I get it. We've only played the Saints and the Panthers, but like we've kept all of them like under 20 points. So this defense is pretty legit, and I'm excited to see what they're going to be looking like very healthy. But overall, I think this game came down to who was going to be able to score the touchdown the first, right? The first team is going to be able to score the touchdown, and then they ended up doing it with Juszczyk, and then the Cardinals bounced back and had a haymaker right back over with Trey McBride's touchdown. Now, it had a little bit of help there with a PI call and a couple of penalties coming our way, but this was a tight game. And yeah, the safety that ended up coming for the Arizona Cardinals was very, very crucial to put us at 15 points. This was a game that you had to scratch and claw to get every single point you potentially can. Now, the Cardinals also had an opportunity to score another 3 points earlier in the game. Unfortunately, I believe it was a 57-yard attempt. Unfortunately, Chad Ryland was not able to go ahead and knock that in. So this game really came down to you have to take advantage of every single point you could potentially get, because this was a typical NFC West battle that's I don't expect, I think we're going to have more of these. If I'm going to be real with you, like, I was wrong. I really was. I know my guy, our guy Tommy here, one of the subscribers of this channel, has been saying like, oh, 20 to 30 to 33. That didn't happen. I mean, you're right. I mean, I was wrong. I was just really hoping, leaning on the Arizona Cardinals to learn from one week to the next. They got better. And then I was hoping from the next week, the Cardinals offense was going to get better. But the nail on the head right there when it comes down to Jesse's take, when I don't think any defense is going to be worried about the Arizona Cardinals offense unless they fix with all these big woes. Now, yes, the drops were a big crucial thing that happened. DeMarcado ended up getting a drop. Marvin Harrison Jr. with 2 drops, as well as Zay Jones at the very end. The Cardinals had every opportunity to win this game. The defense put them in every opportunity to win this game with Calais Campbell, Mr. Reliable, pushing 40 years old, still doing it, got a safety for us. Then we ended up getting Dadrian Taylor-Demerson with an interception that was thrown right to his breadbasket right in his hands. So we got all the opportunities in the world. It's just, it all kind of came down to momentum. And unfortunately, the Cardinals, for some reason, did not play very aggressively in that last drive. They almost kind of played to, I don't know, a little bit too conservative, in my personal opinion. It was just way too easy for Mac Jones to dissect and go up the field and score a game-winning field goal for them. But at the end of the day, this Cardinals team did stand toe-to-toe with this 49ers team. Now, I know it's Mac Jones and you were missing a lot of people, but so are we as well. The Cardinals are in contention to continue to, hopefully fight for some sort of NFC West, I'm not going to say title, but hopefully within the second or, I don't know, third spot, just kind of really depending on how many games this Cardinal team wins. But overall, I think penalties kind of affected us in the beginning. We cleaned that up really right away. But honestly, I kind of want to ask Jesse a question here. Like, this team is as predictable, or this offense is as predictable as, right? Like, I guess my question is, do you feel like Drew Petzing's offense is not predictable, right? Because I mean, there's been plenty of times when the Cardinals need to score a first down, and for some reason, Drew Petzing ended up having us go up the freaking middle of the gut. When you stack the box with 7 to 6 people, it's not going to be doable for the Cardinals to do that. Like, I just don't get the mindset. Now, this is not on Drew Petzing alone. This is not all on Kyler Murray. This is not all on the offensive line that has not been great. It's a lot of nuances that are making this terrible product that we're seeing on the field with the offensive side of the ball. There's a lot of frustrated Cardinal fans right now because we're expecting in year 3 to get all this stuff cleaned up, and Marvin Harrison Jr. has not really shooken out to the way that we wanted him to. But I guess my question goes to you, Jesse. How predictable was this offense for you for the Cardinals?
Man, I was having Seattle Seahawks flashbacks from 2 years ago. I really was. It was so predictable. It's so vanilla. Yes, he moved some guys around, but it's the basic back and forth, just one guy in motion, nothing crazy. And the other thing that he doesn't do is he doesn't hammer advantages. Like, McBride is an advantage. He was an advantage in this game, and they just hammer that until it stops working. Just keep going to the well until you can't anymore. And the 49ers run defense has been spotty at times. I felt like he did abandon the run game at like at the strangest times. It was like you'd get the ball and he wouldn't go to the run game, and then you'd get the ball and he'd go to the run game every single time. Like, there's just no consistency in what he does. Like, it seems like he's all over the place. He doesn't have a plan. He doesn't know how to attack a defense, and it's super vanilla and boring to watch. It just is.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's the big frustration from Cardinal fans, right? That's the product that we're seeing. And here's the thing, like everybody right now, I think there's a petition out there somewhere trying to get as much signatures to get Drew Petzing out there. But I don't think that's going to be the end all be all. Like, I don't think like if we fire him, everything gets fixed, but he definitely needs to elevate this roster and open up the playbook. I mentioned this here on Brandon's channel a little earlier that I just don't think the Cardinals truly trust him at this very moment. Let it rip. Let him, kind of put this offense in his own hands. Now, if you want to continue to run the ball, that's completely fine. Like, that is your bread and butter. Although per the stats, we're not very good at running the ball. But if that is what you want to do, make this more of a balanced offense. Let Kyler Murray use his legs a little bit more like he's doing, and let him throw the ball down the darn field. Too many times where we behind the chains, 1st and 20, 1st and 17. And I kid you not, 2 of 3 of those plays is going to be run, incomplete. It's just the way it is every single time with this Cardinals offense. It's frustrating. I'm sick of it, and I need some change in order for me to be excited about the Seahawks game.
I'm glad you brought that up. Oh, go ahead, Justin. Sorry.
I just want to bring this up real quick. There was an offense in the 90s, a Shanahan offense in the 90s. Well, I guess it was probably early 2000s at this point. But when Jake Plummer was running the offense for the Broncos, and anybody who remembers this time frame knows exactly what I'm about to say, they made that pocket move almost every single drop back. And that's what I would do with Kyler Murray. We joke about the height, but it's a real thing. It just is. You got 6'5" guys in front of you. It's not easy. But if you move the launch point for him and give him a high-low read with an option to run, you roll him out right, you roll him out left, you do those things, his life gets so much easier, and the receiver's life gets so much easier. There are creative ways to do things, and there's no creativity in that offense. It is so hard to watch. It's awful. It really is.
I agree.
Mike, we've seen a Cardinals offense led by Kyler Murray that's fun to watch in years past. And you're looking at the numbers here, and it's kind of alluding to what you guys are talking about here. 2 of the 3 games, Kyler Murray, 29 plus attempts, yet sub 165 in terms of yards. And in both the Saints and the Niners game, you're looking at about a fifth of those yards coming on one pass in the game, too. So when you're factoring in the amount of throws to the amount of yardage, you're talking about Petzing, but we're also have to factor in what we've seen from Kyler in the past. And no, it's not been top 5 football, but it's certainly been more exhilarating than this. I'm going to ask you the same thing I asked you last week, essentially. How much of this is Kyler just not taking it upon himself to make the play? Is he being sort of handcuffed here? Or is he being put in position to make plays and he's just not necessarily taking them, going underneath, and that's leading to the numbers we're seeing here?
I think that's the answer is so broad, and I think that's the hard, I guess, how to try to fix it is because it's such yes to everything. Yes to everything. And here's the thing, there is plays to be made out on the field, but sometimes I feel like Kyler Murray rolls out of the pocket way too quickly the moment he sees some sort of pressure, and he rolls out and he just kind of tries to play backyard football, which could work, right? And that's the exciting part of it all. Or sometimes just too quick to dink and dunk, right? Like, that is what our offense, if you look at the numbers, most of the yards comes from probably our running backs or maybe our tight ends on a quick flat. Like, that is what this offense is predicated on. Now, the Arizona Cardinals, they have mentioned before that they don't want Kyler Murray to make unnecessary moves, right? The ball's going to go where the ball's going to go. That's always what they've been preaching. So I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit of both. Like, I think they ingrained it in Kyler Murray that you don't need to play Superman. Take the ball where the ball, or like put the ball where the ball needs to go. Whoever's open, take what the defense gives you, that type of mentality. But also on the other side of the coin, you also have to have that killer mentality where, you see something, you got to let it rip, right? So I don't know. It's so hard to diagnose because when I look at the All-22 film, there is plays to be made. So I'm not going to come out here and say it's all Petzing. There is plays to be made out there. I'm not sure if Kyler Murray just doesn't see them or whatever the situation might be, but it's a little bit of everything. I mean, also our offensive line hasn't been very great, but like pass protect, we actually have been pretty darn solid. The run blocking, which that's supposed to be our bread and butter, we are terrible at it. And I don't understand what exactly is going on. People are saying it's because we lost our offensive line coach, but excuses at this point. But like, that's supposed to be our bread and butter. If we can't run the damn ball, we're not going to be able to execute this offense to the highest level. So it's a little bit of everything. I don't know. I wish they figure it out. I hope they figure it out because we have a tough opponent here with the Seattle Seahawks. And I don't know, like with the 4 days to get prepared, we still don't know the status of Paris Johnson Jr. and Will Johnson. So we're going to have to keep a close eye on that. But overall, this game wasn't on Kyler at all. But at the same side, the same coin, we probably should have had a lot more points than what was provided here with the DeMarcado drop, with the Marvin Harrison Jr. boneheaded drop. Those could have potentially been more points or touchdowns. So, I mean, I'm taking this loss hard. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a tough pill to swallow.
Well, you mentioned it. We'll see if they can turn things around on a short week against the Seahawks. Speaking of those Seahawks, let's go to the Terminator. You can look like the Terminator when you terminate a team like the Seahawks did on Sunday. 44-13. You drop 40. Wow. You win by more than 30. Doesn't get much better than that. How about Sam Darnold? You want to talk about efficient? 14-18, 218, 2 touchdowns. All of a sudden, JSN might be one of the best wide receivers in the National Football League. The Seahawks improved to 2-1, destroy the New Orleans Saints. And Brandon, I thank you. You gave the Saints a primer for their 16.5-point whooping they have coming their way in Orchard Park this upcoming weekend. Yeah. This had to feel good, though, Brandon, because not only did you beat down the Saints, but you did it in a multitude of ways. The special teams performance in this game, off the charts. Sam Darnold, phenomenal. Just a clean all the way through. I mean, there's really no other way to put it. You must have enjoyed the hell out of this one. Walk me through what you saw against the Saints in Seattle on Sunday.
This was Jameson Winston finger-licking good W style is what this was. And it was also really nice because any of us that look into this to try to do any evaluation on a team, hope you're right about certain takes and angles that you see and that you're really feeling are going to be the truth, and then that plays out that way and how you see it on the field. Torrey Horton going nuts in this game, not necessarily catching a ton of balls because you didn't throw a ton of balls. You only had like 21 passing attempts in this whole entire game. He has a phenomenal punt return touchdown, 95-yarder that he really makes happen. Good blocking, but shows it off there, then comes right back and gets a touchdown catch in the back of the end zone. I talked this whole offseason and trying to sell and convince these gentlemen on this panel that Sam Darnold indeed was a good quarterback and that indeed he could get the job done. And they scoffed at me, Z-Bot. They laughed at me, Z-Bot. They spit in my face, Z-Bot. And I still wiped the spit away. And I said, you gentlemen, watch. You kind sirs, watch what will happen. And he is making me look mighty good with that as the #1 rated quarterback by PFF through 3 weeks of the season. And then you just see the defense starting to come forward as well within this and what they are looking to supply last year. It was a good defense. The place you maybe looked and hoped to get a little bit better would be maybe stopping the run. You started out bad. You got a little bit better as the year went along. You were ending up middle of the road. And this year they have really cleaned that part up in this game against the Saints, which you knew they were going to try to lean on with Spencer Rattler. So it was utter domination, Z-Bot, from start to finish in this game. Every aspect of the team, it's part of the plan that you tried to bring in place, being that you want your offense, defense, and special teams to all be sort of carrying the load on this. And I know that this is what everybody would usually say about their team. Yeah, we want our offense and defense and the special teams just an equal part. But I don't think all teams kind of take this approach. Go ask Jake how it is when you don't have your special teams unit stepping up to form. Go ask Jesse over there how it is when you don't have a field goal kicker that you can trust for a 20-yarder. It makes life hell. And the Seahawks don't have that. They're on the other side of this in every way. And so you have 3 different parts of this team that can really come together to help supply these wins. And to me, that's a good omen for the future on this being something that's going to be repeatable, because you didn't have to play perfect in this game, but you had so many parts that were kind of dominating what they did. They got the job done. So I'm cloud 9 right now. I think if you're going to talk about Terminator, I think we've got to bring up a little bit of that old Conan quote I like here, Z-Bot.
Crush your enemies. See them driven before you. They hear the lamentation
of this is what you were able to pull off this last week.
This 2018 draft class is shaping up to be one of the best in recent memory. Sam Darnold supplanted right in that. You just mentioned it, #1 rated quarterback through 3 weeks. You were optimistic, Brandon, for sure. In reality, though, through 3 weeks, has this surpassed even the most optimistic Seattle fan? Do you think there's still room to grow here? Is it hit the bar? Where are you at? Because we're 3 weeks in, and efficiency is the word here, and you're coming off of a game where you really couldn't ask much more from a guy who makes his 3rd start for this team.
Well, I think that a lot of people out there in the Seahawks fan base were in general places along with where a lot of the guys are in here as far as their outlook of Darnold. I don't think that they were out on a ledge on that one. There's a lot of people in this fandom that were saying, oh, Gino's gone, and now we're going to take this big monster step back. And it was kind of doom and gloom a little bit on that angle of things. I think he is convincing people. It gets kind of hard not to when he is playing this efficiently. It is a sample size of 3 games. Let's see if it's sustainable. I think the other part of this, though, that is maybe a little bit more of just looking beyond the 3 games and tossing it away to sample size. Think of it out as also on this. This guy's on a new team with a new offense, with a new offensive coordinator on that new team he's on. A lot of new parts just kind of coming together here, just kind of starting together, but it's going to get worse down the line. Him more comfortable with these receivers. It'll get worse down the line. I don't think so. I think you're going to see this thing continue to improve as we go along here. But it is, again, another thing that just shows you about looking at quarterbacks and how we evaluate quarterbacks, I think is kind of a little bit of a broken process right now in general fandom. And I think he's a bit of a representation of that. Like I thought Geno Smith was a bit of a representation of that. And he's making me look really good. But yeah, I do think this is sustainable because remember, last point on this, you can't even go to he's got everything working in his favor. So much wind is back. You haven't been able to really run the ball through the first 3 weeks of the season. Your pass protection's been around middle of the road, probably at best. So it's him getting the job done on this, yes, efficiently, but not also with everything just working wonderfully around him.
Yeah, you're seeing fit be the operative word for quarterback right now and how it's portraying or relaying rather into success for these quarterbacks. Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, Daniel Jones right now. I'm not sure he isn't the MVP. Mac Jones, 2 wins with Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco. A wild start to the year. Sam Darnold towards the top of that right now. He helps get the Seattle Seahawks the W on Sunday. All right, let's talk about one of the most wild games of the weekend, a rematch of the divisional round in the NFC last year. The Eagles, the Rams, both going to this game undefeated. This was the game of the weekend on paper going into it, and it lived up to the billing. Interesting here, Jake, the last 2 times, and we talked about this on the last episode, the last 2 times your Rams went against the Eagles, it was Saquon Barkley who led the way, just gashing the Rams multiple times for massive runs that wound up separating them and allowing them to get to the victory. In this game, the Rams shut down Saquon Barkley, 18 for 46. They also shut down the entirety of the Eagles offense. At halftime, Jalen Hurts had -1 air yards. He finishes this game 21 of 32, 226 yards, 3 TDs. A.J. Brown, who's been on a milk carton since the season started, 6 receptions, 109 yards, a touchdown. This all seemed to spark after half. And this was just so unconventional to what we've seen from Sean McVay teams. You would never expect to see a 26-7 lead get blown. And of course, it comes down to a block kick at the end, which was unbelievable in the sense that there were 2 other ones that happened at the exact same time. It felt like the Rams were on the wrong end of this one, Jake, but they were on the right end of it for the majority of the football game. What went wrong, and what's your big takeaway from this loss against Philadelphia?
Oh, you're muted.
Muted, Jake.
Muted.
I don't know why I was already muted. What the hell's going on over there?
Didn't say you were, by the way. That was weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, they told me not to talk, so I shut my mouth for 27 minutes. All right. So I'm just gonna start off, get this out of the way, because I know people in the comment section are gonna have an issue. This was horrendously officiated by Brad Rogers. Just awful. The tush push, awful. Ja'Cory Bennett coming in for the injured Adoree Jackson. They were picking on him, so they felt bad because he wasn't going to stop Puka Nacua, so let's just have him tug on the pants until he just tears them off, apparently. No flag, by the way, on the final. But yeah, look, it wasn't just the officiating. They sucked. We know that. And when you're the Super Bowl champions, unless you're the Rams in 2022, you get the benefit of the doubt. So really what it comes down to is you can't be in a close game against this team. They'll find a way to win. They'll find a way to win even if they're down by 19. The Rams had every opportunity. They kicked 6 field goals in this game, 2 of which were blocked. And that's just, that operation's terrible. But what I don't want to do is discredit the whole special teams unit, because the kicking game is a lot different than, the hands team and what have you. And I think Josh Carty would have been the MVP of this game if he had an opportunity. He hit 23 field goals in a row before getting 2 blocks, so he still hasn't missed one in that span, just had them blocked. And he was kicking knuckleballs on the kickoff, and it really put a lot of strain on the Eagles. Nobody could field it. They brought like 4 different guys out there. Nobody could pick up the football. So it really destroyed the field position battle. The Rams dominated the field position battle. And then the Rams defense dominates in the first half. But what happens? Well, they make adjustments. And you got to give the Eagles credit. Pryor can't play, at least not at right tackle. He was awful. He was getting destroyed left and right. So they put Fred Johnson there because you know how every team in the league just gives Howie Roseman whatever he wants. The Jaguars just gift wrapped Fred Johnson earlier in the year, and he's an Eagle. So he was great at right tackle, to be fair. The Rams pass rush was getting there with 4. They were also blitzing. They're having a lot of success in the first half. But the problem is those blitzes weren't getting there in the second half. And now, like we talked about last week, not having Akello Witherspoon matters against A.J. Brown. Would A.J. Brown have caught anything against Akello? Probably, but he would not have had over 100 yards. Akello had him in a blender the last time they played, a catch for 5 yards. So the Rams' lack of size on the outside really is a big reason why, but also their pass rush wasn't getting there. And really, I just thought that Philadelphia called a completely different offense in the second half. So you got to credit them. Kevin Patullo, who everyone wanted fired in the first half, came out and called a completely different second half. But it was also the Rams on the offense. Matthew Stafford missed throws he never misses. I mean, just straight layup throws. Then you have a run game that is averaging 5.2 yards per carry against this Eagles defense, and you abandon it, essentially. 31 carries. I don't care if they carry the ball 40 times. Just do it. If they can't stop it, just do it. They go for on 4th and 1. Kevin Dotson comes out of the game due to injury. Bo Limmer's there. They decide to run right at Bo Limmer. Kyron Williams gets stopped. I thought McVay called a good game, overall. And I think a lot of Rams fans will disagree, and that's fine. I think it was poor execution. I think Devontae Adams has to come down with a few of those. But I also think, Matthew Stafford has to hit those throws that he always hits. And so I think that really hurt. But the underlying factor is this. When it comes to the Rams defense, it's the cornerback. When it comes to the Rams offense, right now, it's pass protection and the lack of diversification in the passing game. You can't just throw 28 times to Devontae Adams and only have a 46.4 reception percentage. You can't just throw to Puka Nacua. If you don't get other guys involved, well, guess what? Teams are going to key in on those two guys, right? Jordan Whittington is tied with Davis Allen for 4 targets. He got the start at slot in this game. So he's not getting enough targets. And then they're running 12 personnel at the 11th highest clip in the league. And they're not a 12 personnel team throughout Sean McVay's history, but they're running 12 personnel at an 11th highest clip. And they are not getting the tight ends involved in the passing game. So that's the issue right now. Kyron Williams is 3rd on the team in targets with 6. So it's just, it's frustrating because they absolutely dominated the Eagles for most of this game. They should have won. They traveled 3,000 miles to play this game, and they outplayed the Super Bowl champions in Philadelphia. But no one's going to care about it because the reality is they just saw the blocked field goal, and they're going to say, well, the Rams are, they choked, and that's how it is. And I do understand. I mean, yes, you could say that shows that maybe they don't have the capacity to be a champion right now. But in week 3, are we really going to look at it as a negative that they dominated most of the game against the defending Super Bowl champions, and it took 2 blocked field goals for the Eagles to win this game? I'm just saying. So I come away at this game. I'm not at all shocked that they dominated the Eagles to start. I'm shocked that they lost. Kind of. You could see it kind of coming early on, in the fourth quarter. You could kind of see how this was coming. But that said, this idea that the Rams aren't one of the top teams, like I was saying, and I still believe they are the best team in the league, they're this good in week 3. I'm telling you, just wait. I feel really good about this team. This game did not change that. But I didn't feel like I needed my feelings to be validated by them being in a close game against Philly. I believe that they were the better team than Philly coming in, and I will own that. And I still believe they're better than Philly because it took all those different things to happen. We'll see what ends up happening over the course of the year. I think the Rams are going to be much better. And this is a team the last 2 years that got off to bad starts. Well, now they're sitting here at 2-1. They got a really tough game against the Colts. I'm not going to lie, but I do think they're going to win. Then I believe they're going to beat the 49ers, and I think they can beat this Ravens team. So I feel really good about this team overall. No issue whatsoever.
You alluded to it a little bit, but I want to ask that second half. It just doesn't seem like it is conducive to what you think of a Sean McVay-led team, right? So when you're looking at the way it goes, from what I could tell from what you said, you're not concerned about this being a lasting issue, but are you at all concerned about what you saw in the second half translating into a broader issue down the line throughout the year here? Or are you more looking at it as, hey, we beat the ever-living hell out of the Eagles on the road for the majority of this football game, and we just were on the wrong end of things in the second half?
Yeah, I'll go with the latter on that. One thing Sean McVay doesn't do is allow these guys to make the same mistakes over and over again. So I'm not worried. They'll get it corrected. And, we'll see what ends up happening. But I have a feeling these two are going to play in the playoffs, and it'll likely be the NFC Championship game.
Would be a hell of a game. We've been getting nothing but great games between those two teams. Sunday was no exception. That felt like an NFC Championship game preview. One last question for you, Jake. How much do you think that game weighs into the 1 seed when the season comes to an end here?
Oh, I think it's huge. I mean, not that the Rams need to worry about it. They just need to worry about the Indianapolis Colts this weekend. But for fans, I think you have to know that game was for home field advantage. Like, just being real here. Because, I think the Eagles and the Rams and the Buccaneers and the Packers are the 4 best teams probably in the NFC. I'm still not sold on the Lions because I don't know if I'm sold on the Ravens overall. But that's kind of what I would say. So, unfortunately, I think the Rams lost home field advantage. The good news is they won the Super Bowl and they didn't have to be the number 1 seed the last time they won the Super Bowl. So there's that also.
Crazy week 3 in the books. We'll turn the page to week 4 in just a second. Before we do, let's give a shout out to my friends over at RotoWire who have the week 4 lines up. And one of my favorite features on RotoWire is the ability to compare all of the betting lines across all of the major sports books. DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM, Caesars, you name it, all in one place. That way you can shop the lines in one spot to make sure you're getting the best number. And as you can see, we kick things off on Thursday Night Football right here in the NFC West. Seahawks on the road against the Cardinals. Right now, it's anybody's ball game. The Seahawks are a 1-point favorite at MGM. The Cardinals are a 1.5-point dog at DraftKings. So if you like the Cardinals, the better number on DraftKings. If you like the Seahawks, the better number on MGM. And this is why I love this tool, because it makes sure that you get the best number. I'm staring at that Bills Saints game. And like I said, thank you, Brandon, 16.5. I still can't believe my eyes. I don't even know how that's possible. And that's kind of telling me it's probably going to be a 23-20 type game. If history, yeah, exactly right. But exactly. Yeah, the Seahawks definitely gave the Saints a primer for my Bills to take advantage of them this upcoming weekend. But all the lines are available on RotoWire for you to take a look at. And in addition to all of the other great premium tools they have, not only with betting, but of course with fantasy. So make sure to take advantage of all the offerings over on RotoWire. Link in the description below. Click that, sign up for a premium subscription, and use the promo code RTS. That will get you 15% off that premium subscription. All right, no time to waste. Let's turn the page to week 4, and we kick things off on Amazon Prime. Thursday Night Football right here in the division. Brandon's hoping he's wearing those shades again next week. Mike's hoping he grabs his shades out of the cabinet and puts them on next week. This is a big game. 2-1 versus 2-1. You have the Niners at the top of the division right now, undefeated, but things are as close as we predicted them to be, I think, up until this point. And this is why I think we all can agree this is one of, if not the best divisions in football. We'll see it on display on Thursday. We just saw the line, by the way, on RotoWire. This is anybody's game. It's a 1-point type game. So as we're looking at it, Jesse, I'll start with you here first. Seattle, Arizona, you just come off that 1-point win over Arizona. Meanwhile, Seattle dominates the Saints. How do you view this game on Thursday Night Football?
Yeah, it's interesting because the 49ers defense really held down both of these offenses, but I think for very different reasons. One, the Cardinals were in week 3. Their offense should be a little bit more buttoned up. I think this is closer to who they are. Brandon made a really good point about the Seattle offense, and it was questions that I had about the 49ers defense. To me, when I looked at the 49ers defense after week 1, I still had a lot of questions. And the reason was is it the 49ers defense is that good, or is it Seattle has a new quarterback, new wide receiver room, new offensive line, and a new offensive coordinator? How much of it was that? And I think we're seeing a little bit of both. I think the 49ers defense is pretty legit, but I also think the Seattle offense is a lot better than what they showed in week 1. I think they're ascending ultimately, I think that Seattle's just the more complete team. I think also it sounds like both of them have some injuries at the cornerback position that are going to be iffy. Witherspoon will probably be out still if it's a Thursday night game, and we're going to have some guys out for the Cardinals as well. I just don't think that the Cardinals are going to be able to put up points, and I think it's going to be their downfall. I think Seattle wins 27-17.
Seattle wins it, according to Jesse. How about you, Jake? Who takes this NFC West battle on Thursday night?
Oh, I think Seattle's going to win this game. Right now, I just don't trust Drew Petzing. This will likely be a close game. It's a division game, but I just don't trust their offense to match Seattle's offense. As Brandon knows, I was very high on Torrey Horton, so I'm not surprised that he's doing what he's doing. It's always been a matter of staying healthy with him. But I think really, what this is going to come down to is the offense. I think both defenses are very good. I think the problem is I really think Drew Petzing is probably one of the worst play callers I've seen this year. But in addition to that, I don't want to take Kyler Murray off the hook either. I think he's missed some throws. I don't think he's played necessarily as well as he should. And this is what I'll say about the Cardinals, is that they failed to go out and get another receiver, which I said they needed, Jesse said they needed, and Brandon said they needed. And Mike, you might have said that as well. I'm not trying to throw you under the bus there.
You're good.
But we all said they needed a receiver. And the whole thing was, if you are going to run like you're the Kansas City Chiefs and you don't need to go out and get a primary receiver, you have to have good play calling. And right now, they just don't have the talent to outweigh how bad this play calling is, truthfully. So, yeah, I have Seattle winning this game 23-17.
Defense dominates last week. Brandon, will they be able to do it again in a divisional battle on a short week on the road?
I do believe they will be able to, because of some of the things even Jake was saying, which I do agree with Petzing and that watching that offense. Some of this also comes down to some of what Mike had talked about, being that this isn't just a Kyler Murray problem on the offensive side of the ball. There's multiple issues going on at once. Connor's injury put back into this on top of it. And then the extra factor would be the last two games that you played last year, Mike McDonald's first opportunity as a Hawks head coach to take on Kyler in those two matchups. He pretty much dominated Kyler. And it was from a standpoint of, I think, strategically, as much as the players playing really well, as far as forcing Kyler into doing the things that he doesn't want to do on the football field. And I think you're going to get more of the same of that in this particular game. From a Cardinal perspective, the key is going to be, can they run up against this light box of the Seahawks that they've tended to lean on early on in the season so far? And then from Kyler's standpoint, can you find those tight passing windows that are going to exist, because the Seahawks are not going to blitz you? They're going to drop a lot of guys into coverage. You're going to have a spy on you at times. So you're not just going to be able to run around free and easy. And I just think that alone almost is going to be able to compress down the Cardinals and keep them from scoring enough to keep pace with the Seahawks offense, who I think is not going to necessarily light the world on fire against this Cardinal defense, which I think is legit, as Jesse was saying earlier. But I still do think you'll have enough consistent drives, the offense coming a little bit more together as we go through this game to just kind of outpace things when it's all said and done.
So Seattle gets it done. What's the final score in your estimation?
I'm going to go 23-17, 20-17, something like that in that territory.
So most people here are thinking a low scoring, tight game. Loser of this one falls to 0-2 in the division. Mike, will it be your Cardinals falling to 0-2, or will it be Brandon's Seahawks on Thursday night?
I mean, I get it. I get where all the criticism on Cardinals. And it's funny, right? A lot of people don't talk about the opposing offensive coordinator being the fault, but that is the big talking point right now when it comes down to Drew Petzing. He's fighting for his job, and Kyler does have a little bit of blame as well. So I definitely do not blame anybody here in this roundtable picking against the Cardinals. I feel like if the Cardinals want a chance to win this game, I'll admit I was wrong last week. I thought the Cardinals were going to be a lot better offensively, but they've proven that they have not been able to kind of learn and kind of get better. So I feel like the only way the Cardinals are going to win this game is to try to limit the amount of points that the Seahawks are going to be able to put up. And I know that's going to be a hard task, but they got JSN over there. Kenneth Walker's having a good year so far. Cooper Kupp, Torrey Horton, they got playmakers over there. So I'm going to lean onto the side of being the one lone wolf on this roundtable. Yes, call me homers. I don't give a damn. I'm going to go with my Cardinals here. I'm going to say 19-17 Cardinals win, 2-point win, and we're going to shut down those arrogant Seahawks. Let's go Cardinals.
We'll move on to Sunday in just a second. Before we do, we got some news. So as we said last week, we were down to the last couple of tickets for the NFC West Roundtable event, which starts A week from tomorrow, fellas. I can't even believe it. It's almost here. We're a week away from tomorrow, but we have some great news. So last week, we only had a few left. All of them sold out. We were able to get some more. We didn't think we were going to be able to. We added them to the site. Look, I know it's last minute, but I know there's some people out there who are still on the fence, still thinking about it. It did sell out. We were able to add a few more. The link is in the description below. It's a week from tomorrow. And then, of course, the game Thursday night next week between the 49ers and the Rams. It's going to be incredible. And everyone who's interested in going, we'd love to have you. And we were stoked to be able to get a few more tickets on the site. They sold out quick last week. I believe one person scooped up the remainder, which was wild. I would love this. I can't wait to meet that person because they went nuts last week. But we were able to get a couple of more on the website. So if you're interested, if you're still on the fence and you can join us, do so. It's going to be a ball. Just last week, I was at the AFC East Roundtable event in Buffalo, and I'm telling you, it was just amazing. Top to bottom, we had a ball. And I love my Buffalo Bills, but that was in Orchard Park, New York. It was not at SoFi Stadium. So this is going to be something else. And we look forward to seeing those who are coming and those who are on the fence. We hope you do come. Link in the description below. All right, let's move on to Sunday afternoon, the game that everybody had penciled in as one of the games of the week in week 4. Everybody knew that these two teams were going to be two of the best in the league through the first month of football. That's right. The Indianapolis Colts, led by Daniel Jones, 3-0 on the road at said SoFi Stadium against Matt Stafford and the LA Rams. Say what you will, but Daniel Jones is playing some of the best football in the NFL right now. They're 3-0. That offense is humming. It's incredible to watch. And they're putting it on display against a Rams team who, of course, is going to want to avenge that loss this past week against the Philadelphia Eagles. Jesse, I'll start with you. This is an interesting one. It's a big test for Indianapolis, right? And if Daniel Jones wins this game, I mean, he's already getting some buzz right now. It's going to be major. Meanwhile, for, the Rams, it could seem as though, 3-0, but who are the Colts? Can't look past this team by any stretch. It would still be, of course, a big win for the Rams to get back on top of things after that narrow loss this past week. So how do you view this one and who takes it? Colts, Rams?
Yeah, this is not going to be an easy game at all. Danny Dimes is playing really good football. And you just look up and down that Colts roster. They have a good defense from back to front. They have a good offensive line. They've got good wide receivers, good tight end, a good running back. I mean, this team is actually a pretty well put together team. And it all came down to the quarterback position. And if Danny Dimes can play anywhere close to what he has been, they're going to be a tough team to beat. That being said, I believe in the Rams as much as Jake does. It's absolutely crazy. I understand that. 49er fans are like, I don't get it. But I really picked them to beat Philadelphia. And when they were up 27-6, I was like, see, this is what I saw the whole time. And of course, it fell apart at the end. It is what it is. To me, they're still a very complete, good team. I think the Rams are very for real. And I just have to go with the home team here and the quarterback that I trust more, which is Matthew Stafford. He's done it for longer, and I think that they're going to bounce back. I do think it's going to be extremely close. I'll go 23-20 Rams.
Brandon, can Indiana Jones slay the Rams on the road at 4:05 p.m. Eastern on Sunday?
Indy, get the Rams. Indy, get the Rams. I would like to think they could. Unfortunately, I don't know that I can move a different direction from where Jesse's at or this, or where I anticipate Jake's probably going to be at on this. I think the one place that may give the Rams some real big issues here is if Jonathan Taylor is going to go off. And the place that I do worry about this Rams team, and maybe above all else, is how they can stop the run. And if that is something that can hold up well, and this is going to be a very big challenge. I know they did a great job against Saquon last week, but Taylor's going to be at 5.6 yards per carry average already out the gate right now, provide them another mighty challenge there. And that's maybe the one place to me the Colts have a little bit of inroads here. I agree with what as well Jesse said about the fact that this has been a well put together roster for years. We know that the top to bottom, every positional group you go through, you can usually find some talent. It's really been about them finding a quarterback that actually can be capable enough to execute the offense beyond just a bare minimum kind of approach to things. And Indy is doing that right now really well, but I still would come down to this thinking that you're going to be able to get enough done. This being at home is enough to push them past. If this was on the road at 10 a.m., I feel a little bit different on this one, but I'm going to still give the Rams the nod here, though. Close game will go 23-17.
Mike, Colts, Rams, who you got winning this one on Sunday?
Everybody in this chat thinks I'm a Rams hater, man. They always think I've got no. I'm not going to do that this time around. I'm looking at the Colts, and they are a good team. I mean, offensively, they got the weapons to win games. But I mean, if you really look at it, I mean, who they play, the Dolphins. Come on, now the Dolphins. Now the Broncos. That game could have been decided completely different at the end of it all, and then they beat up on the Titans. I mean, look. Whoop-de-doo. The Rams are the better team. I think they're more complete. They're going to go ahead and I'm not going to say they're going to run away with this game. I think there's going to be a really good offensive battle, a lot of points up on the board. I'm going to go and say 27-21 Rams win this game.
Jake, it's a big game, right? I mean, I feel like it's still tough to wrap your head around the fact that it is a big game. It's tough to want to believe in these Colts, but they've given you a reason to believe in them through the first 3 weeks. Are the Rams shutting the door on them this upcoming Sunday? Do your Rams get it done against the Colts?
I think they do. Yeah, I think this game's going to be really close. I have 30-23, and I'm a big believer in Daniel Jones. I want to make that very clear. I actually traded for him in my Dynasty League before the season started. I thought when he went to Shane Steichen, it's going to be one of those things where we're like, oh, it was the Giants all along. No, Daniel Jones had issues. Don't get me wrong. But he has a teacher now that's going to be able to get the most out of him. I think the Colts are for real. The Texans are 0-3. So they have an opportunity here to really continue on. I don't think they get it done against the Rams. I think that secondary is really good. Charvarius Ward they added. Cameron Bynum is an absolute stud. Nick Cross, probably one of the better tackling safeties out there, run supportive safeties. And I am worried about DeForest Buckner. But here's the deal. The Rams are going to be so pissed off from the Eagles game. And they've been doing such a nice job of keeping every game just in front of them, right? Not overlooking Tennessee. They did not do that. They ended up blowing them out. They could have ended up putting 40 up on them. I just think this game coming off an Eagles loss, you learn more in your losses than you do in your wins. I expect Sean McVay to go to the drawing board, start to utilize Jordan Whittington more. Maybe we see the rookie Terrence Ferguson go off or get an opportunity in this one. I just think that the Rams are going to pull out all the stops, and they're going to beat Indy 30-23. That said, though, I think the Colts are a really good team. They're for real, and this is not going to be easy. Do not overlook them, Rams fans.
A team that's kind of hunting them down, or trying to at least, this upcoming Sunday is going to be a team that's facing off against Jesse's 49ers. A sneaky good game here. The Jags taking on the Niners. This game is in San Francisco, and we'll see if we get Brock Purdy in this one, or if it will be Mac Jones yet again. But Jacksonville 2-1 right now. 49ers looking to remain perfect. Mike, I'll stay with you here. What do you think goes down between the Jags and the Niners? This feels like a tricky game to kind of wrap your head around. So how do you see this one going?
It is a tricky, because I don't even know what this offense is. And I'm talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars. They got one really good wide receiver over there in Brian Thomas Jr. And he has not been very good at all in terms of his second year. He had a really good rookie year. And then they have Travis Hunter, which, obviously playing DB as well as the wide receiving role. And he hasn't really done very much. So it looks like they're running through Travis Etienne and their other rookie over there as well in terms of the running back. And I don't really know what the Jacksonville Jaguars are. I don't know what their identity is. Now, I think it really is going to depend on if Brock Purdy is going to be playing in this game, because Mac Jones did look very, very uncomfortable in those last few plays. I think definitely got nicked up over there. So if Brock Purdy plays, I think they're going to win this game. And I do feel like if Mac Jones plays, that they still might win this game. I don't believe in the Jacksonville Jaguars in terms of their offensive identity. So for that, I'm going to lean on the 49ers, although I do think the Jacksonville Jaguars have a pretty sneaky defense. But I'm going to say the 49ers win this game 27-15.
Could be a potential Mac Jones revenge game if he ends up getting the start in this one. Brandon, how do you see this one going down? Jacksonville, San Francisco.
I think I feel very similar to where Mike is at as far as just looking at this Jacksonville Jaguar team. And I don't know really what you are, what your identity is, how you're trying to go win games. What they got, this Brenston Strange tight end is leading them in receptions through 3 games. Etienne's a back that doesn't excite me that much. Some of what he's doing right now is really buoyed by having a 71-yarder on his back hip this year to make his yard per carry average look a little bit better. And here's the thing with the Niners, in that they've had all of these injuries that have stacked up and piled up, and it only furthers now with Nick Bosa. But we've got to give this team a lot of credit for the spirit that they've displayed out on the football field to overcome this stuff, to win this last game against the Cardinals after they lost Bosa fairly early in this football game. and that they've been able to just answer the bell and not skip a beat in essence. I know they're not necessarily blowing guys out, but just to get through and get the wins in these games, I think they're getting very hardened up. And then the Jaguars have to travel out on this road and that just being kind of the great equalizer above all else. I think the Niners win this comfortably 30-19, just on the back of showing just how good a team they are and how, ferocious that defense has been. And I think still will continue to be so even without Bosa there.
2 for 2 thus far on the Niners. Jake, you making it 3 for 3?
I'm not. I'm actually a little higher on the Jaguars than you guys are. Not like super high because Trevor Lawrence is their quarterback. I mean, I'm not high on Trevor Lawrence at all. A big reason why I think that they are 2-1 instead of being 3-0. And a big reason why this offense is struggling. I don't necessarily think it's entirely on the receivers. I don't like the way Trevor Lawrence has been playing. That said, I really like their defense. I like their secondary. I do think that this is going to be a really close game, defensive battle. But I think Daniel Jones is just a little bit better this week than he was last week. And I think it's going to be enough. I really think the big thing here is Ricky Pearsall. You guys might not realize this, but there are 3 NFC West receivers leading the NFL in receiving. You got Puka Nacua, JSN, which, by the way, called that breakout season, and Ricky Pearsall as 3rd. So shout out to him. He's had
and then
he's had a good year.
Marvin Harrison 4th. Oh wait, no, he's not.
Stop.
Oh,
Stop
Brandon.
it right now, Brandon.
You are better than that.
That is uncalled for.
That's cold-blooded.
Oh man! To be fair, who would have thought that we'd be talking about Marvin Harrison Jr. in this light right now? Back in the day.
Still week 3. Let's chill.
You might not have been high on him or not as high, but you did not expect this. So, but hey, his story isn't written yet. But anyway, back to the point I was making. I think the big thing that I really like about the Jaguars here is that I like Tyson Campbell and I like the way Jordan Lewis is playing on the outside. I think those guys will be able to do their thing. And I think that's what's going to keep this game close. And I think the Jaguars are going to be able to run out the clock at the end, kick a game-winning field goal. I have 20-17 Jaguars.
Jesse, despite the injuries, the Niners are facing 4-0 in the face this upcoming Sunday. Do they end up getting to that record when it's all said and done against Jacksonville?
Yeah, I believe that they do. I think that the 49ers defense is still going to be able to do enough. I mean, I look at Trevor Lawrence, and we're getting to the point with him where, yes, I loved him coming out of college. At Clemson, he was a phenomenal player. It seemed like he was a can't miss, but he's been anything but. And that whole draft class really is turning into one of the most awful ones after being pegged as one of the best ones of all time. And it just has not been great for the quarterback position. And Trevor Lawrence just, he's very Kyler Murray, where it's like, man, you have all this talent, but something is missing clearly. And it's hard to not go back to those pre-draft conversations where he basically was like, football's not everything to him. He could do without it. And you wonder how much of it is that, how much does he actually spend studying? How much does he actually care? I don't know the answer to those questions, but what I do know is Trevor Lawrence has not at all lived up to expectations, and something is clearly missing that is stopping him from ever being an elite quarterback. He doesn't really scare me at all. I think he makes poor decisions at awful times, and the 49ers have owned this team. And I think that Robert Saleh will have a game plan dialed up, knowing exactly how to stop this offense. Now, that defense is legit. They've got 2 very good pass rushers. They've got good corners. They're good on every single level. I do think Brock Purdy plays, though. And I think that with Demarcus Robinson coming back, I think Jennings will be back. I think that'll be enough for the 49ers to get this done. I'm going to go 24-20 Niners.
There you have it. Week 4 picks locked in. We'll get to your super chats in just a second. Mike, you got something for me?
I just like how we're not talking anything about the Arizona Cardinals, but there's some subtle jabs going up there.
Oh, I noticed.
Shame on you guys. Shame on you guys.
I saw that Kyler jab. Brandon's was a little less subtle, but I saw that from Jesse for sure. We'll see what ends up going down. Look at a lot on the line on Thursday night, right, Mike? You can come in here head held high with bragging rights if you get it done against the Seahawks.
Hope so.
Speaking of that Thursday night game, why don't we build a Thursday night slip over on Sleeper with our sleeper picks? Let's do a Thursday night exclusive. Let's take a peek at what we have on Sleeper for our picks this week. I got the Thursday night game pulled up. I'll get 2 picks from each of you. Brandon, I'll start with you here. Anything off the top of your head you want me to look at that you're confident in this one?
I would probably look at Horton at 21.5 receiving yards. I like those kind of. I think they're more low hanging fruit because he's really, I think, coming on, and you're going to attack the Cardinals basically third cornerback because it's probably going to be a backup in there somewhere, and that's probably the spot that you're going to be hitting. So I would look for Horton there at 21.5 yards.
All right, we got Horton more than 21.5. Mike, anything stand out to you?
Is there any? What's Trey Benson? Is Trey Benson there?
Yeah, we got his anytime TD right there.
We got 46.5 yards for Harrison.
Yeah,
here's the faith.
Give me.
Benson's at 59.5.
Give me lower on that.
All right, less than 59.5 for Benson. I'll swing it back to you, Brandon. Anything else you like in this one?
Probably go with Walker. I go Walker anytime touchdown, 0.5 in this one.
Walker ATD. Mike, round us out. One more pick for your Cardinals on Thursday night.
Is there a Trey McBride touchdown anytime?
There sure is. Let's go take a peek at where it's at. Trey McBride, there he is. Nice and easy. There's our slip for Thursday night over on a Sleeper. We have Horton more than 21.5 receiving yards. Benson less than 59.5 rushing yards. Kenneth Walker to get in the end zone and Trey McBride to get in the end zone. Ooh, that is a doozy. That's a 12x multiplier. 100 pays out 1,200 on that Sleeper slip. You can tell that one, or of course, create your own on the Sleeper app, the fastest organically growing fantasy and real money wagering platform on the web. Link is in the description below. Use the promo code RTS and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper via the link in the description below. Once again, 100% match up to $100. Use the code RTS. All right, Brandon, give me some applause. We have well over 650 of you in the building late on a Tuesday. It's Super Chat time. Go! Dylan kicks us off this evening. My brother and I are on the way to Arizona from Texas right now. 10 hours to go. Can't wait for this game. Go Hawks. Best defense in the league. Wow, little road trip for Dylan.
Damn.
Let's go, Dylan. Go get it. Go
and I love that
we usually do take over that stadium. Michael will attest to this. That's usually kind of our house when we come in. It's just the way it goes.
I have an uncle coming from Seattle to watch this game.
Nice.
I'll be there too.
Fun stuff. Dylan, we appreciate you taking the roundtable on your journeys with you. Safe travels on your way to Arizona. We have Beyond Balance, number 1 rated quarterback, number 2 point differential in the NFL, only team to hold all opponents to 17 or less. Who is that? Go Hawks. Took a game for our OC to get things started. Hat redemption will come, Brandon.
My revenge is coming. It will be mine.
It will be vengeful if it ends up occurring. I know it. I could see it in his eyes last week. He's waiting for the next moment he gets to put a hat on.
He had a couple of photos up above too. I don't know if because they might have come before the start of the show. Do you guys see that on yours too? With the Rel Smith
above Dylan?
Yeah, there was a Rel Smith, Daniel Bailey, Keon Lund. Megan did a 50 and a 20.
They starred
before the start of the show, so it might not show.
Yeah, they're starred. They're at least on my end. They're starred.
Well, so pull up the ones before Dylan if you could for me. They're not started on my end for some reason.
It won't let me actually.
I'm in the studio on my end, so it's not. I'm not logged into the roundtable one, so I can't.
Okay. All right. Well,
I can read them off too if we can't show them. At least then we can.
If you could, please. I'd hate to miss them. I don't know why they're not showing up.
Yeah. So sorry, folks. A couple of these just aren't showing up on the thing. Rel Smith with a $2 donation says 49ers will win the NFC West and the NFC. Book it.
Love it.
You in, Jet? You in there?
No, I'm not. No.
Daniel Bailey with a $2 donation says the tell-all referred to his experience as a masseur.
Yeah.
Callback.
That's right. It is a good callback.
There we go. Keon Lund, thank you for the $5. The main problem about the Rams, Arizona, and 49ers is the fact that they are Go Hawks.
Damn.
You loved reading that one, didn't you?
Well, I'm feeling Keon today, and I always usually am, but especially today on that. I'm 100% riding him with that. And then we got Megan with the double dip donation, a $50 donation. Thank you for that, Megan. And then we've got ourselves also a $20 donation on top of that, back to back.
Wow.
She says, thanks for the chat
Thank you,
on
man.
your call-in show, Jesse. And thanks to your fans for being so nice to me in the chat. So hyped for Thursday, and we'll be watching from a bar in Sydney as tomorrow is travel day and Friday is show day. She's happy to go check out the show. And so thank you, Jesse, for being kind of my peeps. When they come
She
in.
called in, man. It was a lot of fun. That accent is fantastic. Let me tell you.
Yeah, she's got that strong. It's there. It's there for sure. Megan also with a 20. Thank you for this. Megan says, so happy for the win against the Saints and am now in first place in fantasy. But if I hear anyone else tell me that the win was only against the Saints, I will not be held responsible for what I will say and or do.
That's awesome.
They all count the same, Megan. They all count the same. W, dominant W. We appreciate you as always. Fun week ahead. You're topping the fantasy league right now. You're crushing it. Thanks as always, Megan. We really appreciate you. All of us here at the round table. And I can't wait to hear about the show. I feel like I'm going to the show. Megan's been updating us for like 2 months on the show. And I feel like I kind of want to go, to be honest. And I got to get a 25-hour flight. I probably have to miss the roundtable event. So Megan, next time.
They may come to New York. They may come to Broadway with it.
No, they might. You're right. The problem is that I go to New York less living down near New York than I ever did when I lived 6 hours away. The fact that it's 45 minutes away, I'm like, I just don't want to go. You know, I want to go to Sydney to see it. You know, that's more fun. Tommy's coming in. Tommy Huxley, Arizona. So that was a high-scoring game. Oh, man, Mike, it's raining down.
Oh, yeah. I mean, rightfully so, man. When you have a take that doesn't actually hit and it's like, I'll take this on the chin. It's all good.
SoCal. Now I know what it would be like to be a Niner fan and feel a big game getting choked away.
Damn.
Calm down. Calm down, buddy.
Not that big, SoCal. Freddie K.
Week 3 game, all right?
Yeah, that's as big as it gets, Jesse. Come on, you don't want to be choking week 3s. Come on.
Super Bowl week 3. Yeah.
February is for the birds, boys. Week 3 is where it's at. Come on, you can't be choking week 3. Freddie K. Rough Sunday, but I know the Rams will bounce back. And they get their opportunity this upcoming weekend against the undefeated Daniel Jones-led Colts. I actually can't wait for that game. That's going to be great. Catalyst. Fire Shane Waldron again.
Well, the Jaguars need to fire him.
Is he their OC?
I think so. He doesn't call the plays, though. It's Cohen.
Okay, I was like, no way.
No, Cohen called.
Duval.
You know what's funny? I saw his post-game presser or his post-game locker room speech.
He's actually pretty lively.
It's like two different human beings, is it not?
Yeah.
Like that presser there and that is, it's unbelievable how different it is.
He definitely learned a lot from McVay. You can tell.
Yeah. He was amped. That Duval clip, you're like, dude, who let the intern up here? And then you watch that guy and it's just night and day.
Well, it's just like when Buddy got hired for the Cardinals, though, Gannon, like that weird exchange with the player. He's like, hey, you all in? I was like, dude, chill out. Like, what is this? I was like, this guy's going to suck.
Got that fire and you get it.
All right. How about this? Let's learn from the mistakes of judging.
Okay.
Let's learn from the mistake. Yes, let's learn from the mistakes of judging him way too early. Dan Campbell.
I knew you were going to say Dan Campbell. I would have bet my life on it.
Stuttering. He was practically in tears, and people were making fun of him. Are they laughing now? And then Nick Sirianni, and then Gannon. I think Gannon's been a solid head coach, and I think there's more to come. And now Cohen. So the only one that you are absolutely right on, if you clowned him, was Adam Gase.
Oh, the crazy.
The
not that goofy, but not that goofy, just an a-hole
type of thing he did. I don't even know.
It's the goofier the better. He's just an a-hole. He's just a dick. But if you're super goofy, it makes you a great coach.
Punches.
The Dan Campbell one was all
that
time though.
That bastard can go to hell.
It looked like he had never worn a suit before, and he was just saying the most absurd things you've ever heard. But how about Dan Campbell last night? The Stones at the 50-yard line to throw that ball. Jake, I know you must have been rolling. You must have been screaming watching that.
I don't hate the Lions anymore. I find them annoying.
Wow.
Yeah, right now the Eagles are the team that I find really annoying because it's like I find them annoying, and it's funny because I used to like them like back when I was little and I liked two teams, but obviously the Rams have always been my favorite. I had a soft spot for Philly. I liked Andy Reid. I liked Brian Westbrook, Don McNabb, all that. Now, I agree with Drew Brees. That is not a fun offense to watch. But more importantly, I think really what it is obviously they beat the Rams multiple times, and that has something to do with it. It's their fans, man. Like, I've met a lot of awesome Philly fans in LA, so I want to make that very clear. It's not all the fans, just like it's not all the Detroit Lions fans. But man, it just, how like unfun is it after a game, win or lose, and you just got to have all these people in your, like, and this is the fan base. Like, just watch. They'll win or lose to the Bucks. You'll see them all over the feed. Like, just, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I don't hate them anymore. I find Jared Goff to be annoying, and I don't like the victim mentality, but nah, Z-Bot, I wasn't crying or anything like that. I was pissed because I had money on Zay Flowers, and that didn't go anywhere, but yeah. I was pissed about that. I wasn't pissed that the Lions found a way.
Well, I was hooting and hollering. 1-2 Chiefs versus the 1-2 Ravens, boys. Sign me up this upcoming weekend for the Toilet Bowl. Come on.
Chiefs are going to be 1-3. How about that?
Right.
Yeah, that was a wild game. Larry's coming in, and he's saying, love this channel. And, of course, I'm here for Niners and Jesse. Watched Mike's show after the game. Fair reaction. Better luck next time. Go Niners. There we go. A little positive reinforcement for the Cardinals. We need that right now. And Larry is doubling down. He's gifting 5 NFC West Roundtable memberships.
Larry, you're the best, man. Thank you.
Get the thing. Thank you, Larry. Man.
In addition to firing Shane Waldron again, Catalyst is wondering if we could also fire Ryan Grubb again. So
it shows how bad we were as far as where we've been the last two, and what a difference it makes when we got a competent one. I'll tell you what.
Mo Maggot was on the right side of the gifted subs that we just received from Larry. Mo Maggot's giving a shout out to Larry. He's saying thank you for the gifted sub. I like to see when they actually go to somebody. I never know where the hell they go. So it's good to see one land in the lap of Mo Maggot, and it's good to see you. Dangerous Dave. Mike, seemed like a long way to say we suck.
I mean, I got a lot of emotions right now, so let me just vent. It is what it is. I mean, hopefully the Cardinals do better this week, and I can rock on the shades. That's all I got to say.
Big one on Thursday. The real cheese. Wasn't sure about Darnold signing in the offseason. Now I'm all in. All hell. This is a new one to me. Brandon, you're going to have to fill me in here.
Jacobus.
Is that his nickname?
It is now.
All right.
$5.
It is now.
First time hearing on it, but it works, I guess. It's better than the red fire. Horton is a beast, and it's there's a lot of fans that weren't in. There's a lot of people that weren't in. I think it's understandable why people weren't in on Darnold necessarily. It wasn't like he had done a whole bunch of stuff to just completely prove he was going to be able to perform like he has so far. But it's been a great start, and the best version of the Seahawks, ultimately the highest potential we can have, is going to ride to a certain degree on the back of Darnold being able to play like this. And if he's just a game manager type that can't get you much more past that, limits how far we can go.
Mo Maggot back in, saying shout out to Kubiak for finding what does and doesn't work.
Yeah. First week you were in shotgun, no play action. The last 2 weeks you've run play action as at the highest rate of just about anybody in the NFL, or at least top 5. And that's where media recognizes that that was stupid. That didn't work. Go back to where you are with this offense and what makes it go, and he's done that.
Double B Studio. Let's go Niners. Nice and easy. Tommy Huxley. He's saying, Z-Bot, bring your weak fan base to Last Second Sports anytime. Listen, you want to come play in the snow again in Orchard Park, Tommy, we'll invite you down anytime. We'll invite you down anytime. Josh Allen will catch a couple more passes. A couple more touchdown passes, Tommy. You want to come hang out in Orchard Park? I'm going to be hanging out in Santa Clara in February, Tommy, if you want to meet me there. That's where I'm going to be. I'm going to be in Santa Clara in February. Good to see you, Tommy. Dangerous Dave back in. He's saying Last Second Sports may be late, but it's also great. The best.
I am always like 2 minutes late. He's right.
I'm late too. I get it.
Yeah, 2 minutes would be early for me, to be honest with you. Double B Studio. Once again, Eagles win by 10. Lambs will turn into sourdough.
Jeez.
I don't know. A little lamb on sourdough sounds kind of good. I might be interested in that.
Yeah, I know you keep calling them the lambs. You know I eat lamb all the time. Lamb's great. I'll take that.
Lamb is good.
Lamb is not a bad thing, my friends.
People who don't like
It's gonna be a
lamb, I'm
tough chew,
convinced they've
though.
never tried
Lamb
it.
on sourdough. That's your jaw's getting a workout on that.
You ain't kidding. You're damn
Yeah,
right.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, that's like chewing on a rock, but in a good way. My favorite YouTube handle in the nation, Bronze Sausage, 27-17 Hawks. You guys are awesome. Go Hawks. Got a feeling I know who Bronze is rooting for on Thursday. He's got a 10-point dub coming Seattle's way on TNF. Our main man, Alex Marin. I'm going to have to disagree with Mike and say that Kyler does have that killer instinct. ... It's just reversed for Call of Duty, coming out November 14th.
Sheesh. Good God.
Alex is really good with the quips and everything. Like, honestly, better than anybody I've ever seen. That's his bread and butter. So,
all love, Alex. Appreciate you.
Dangerous Dave. Jake, are you holding back tears? Do you need a hanky?
No. Actually, I'm used to the pain anytime I see the green team. Keep in mind, I flew 3,000 miles out to see them absolutely embarrass the Rams in prime time. So I'm used to this.
Humdinger. Brandon looks like Joe Gatto from Impractical Jokers.
Oh. I didn't get the same part. Joe got that. We got to do like a mobster reference here. Okay. I guess I'll take that.
I don't see it.
I don't see it either.
No.
I
gotta look him up.
I don't see it at all.
He's the one that I feel like I think of when I think of Impractical Jokers.
Yeah, it's not. He doesn't look like him.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Over on the Fanatics, by the way, Murr reached out to us. He just did an ad spot with us because he's doing a show in Buffalo, and it was hilarious. He's like, links below. He's like, the link is in the comments below, right beneath my pierced nipples. That's what he said in the promo, which I thought that was just hilarious.
Nice.
Mo Maggot back in again. Seattle 1-7 at home before Sunday. Saints didn't look like the worst team until this game. Seattle playing lights out on the road, and then a week later taking home with them. Watch out, NFC West.
Well, hopefully just keep improving as the year goes along. We got a lot to prove. I do still maintain that the 49er win stands looming a little bit over the top of this, and that there were new aspects into play, but the end of the day with this, the Rams and the 49ers have kind of set the baseline here that we've got to meet and match, and we've got to take them down, and we've got to step up to that. And it's building up to get to that spot. So Cardinals first up, but getting back the home field advantage is a big part of this too, which has been sucking in recent years, or at least especially last 3 years. Some of that's had to do with just difficult opponents at home, like your Buffalo Bills last year, and so many of those, but it's a good step in the right direction, y'all. That's for sure.
Dangerous Dave. Jake? Is it You Monthly? Is that a magazine? They played 2 quarters. Okay.
I think it's a period reference.
I think so. I think he's talking about also that they only played 2 quarters. I thought they played. Yeah, I guess. You know what? The second half it was kind of buns. The second half was not very good, Jake.
I'd still push back on that because the Eagles. I mean, I know they stopped them. They forced 6 field goals. They also and. This is actually the thing that bothers me the most. I thought Nick Sirianni going for it on 4th and 7 was so stupid. Like, you deserve to lose for that. You're not Dan Campbell. What the hell are you doing? And they got stopped, right? There were multiple instances where they got stopped. So I actually, the second half, I don't think it's just a full-on tale of 2 halves. And I keep seeing the thing, the score is tells the whole story of the game. No, it doesn't. 33-26 does not tell the whole story of the game. It just doesn't. But yeah.
Chacho, I think refs were looking at hot chicks in that game.
I will say this, and this is, I actually back Jake up on this. I was watching that game on the quad box. The taunting penalty on Puka Nacua was absolutely egregious.
This is offensive now.
Flex at anybody. And 15 yards right there. That was massive. Yeah. There was a holding call, an egregious holding call that stopped Hurts from getting sacked in the red zone. Didn't even call that. And then there was a PI that they completely missed on Puka at a big time in that game. I don't blame refs. Listen, they still lost the game. They had their chances. They blew it. That is not why they lost. There were some egregious calls in that game, or missed calls as well.
I appreciate it,
I'll add to one other extra on that is I don't think the Rams got to feel bad about this in the least. They performed really well on the road, 10 a.m. game against an opponent that's been very difficult for them to deal with the past 2 years. So I think if anything, you take it. I know that what's the moral victory? There are no moral victories in football, but I think you don't have anything to. You didn't lose to some opponents and back into the division point like the Dolphins on the road in some weird game like that.
Or at home like they did last year.
Yeah. Exactly.
You just reminded me of that one.
Couple supers dogging on Jake here. All Jake does is cut him off already. And is Jake still talking? I dozed off. Jake didn't talk till the 27 mark tonight.
Seriously.
You got to pick your spots. I mean, come on,
They're just memeing at this point, Jake. They're memeing.
It's a bit. I get it. If it was Reddit, I would know that nothing anybody says on Reddit matters because they're all a bunch of idiots. But yeah. I don't know if you guys saw my post. I had somebody send it to me. Somebody was slandering me on the Vikings Reddit because I said they'd be better with Carson Wentz. And then literally the next day, Carson Wentz and the Vikings have their best game of the year. It's like, ooh.
It's like of course. Karma points for Jake over on Reddit. That fell on deaf ears. Wow, that was bad. I guess we don't have a lot of Reddit users in here. Maybe I should just stop using Reddit. I
knew what you meant. What you meant.
All right, good. Yeah, Jake's stalking the boards. Every time I use Reddit, I think of Coward. You're all on your Reddit boards or whatever. Every time Coward makes a point, when he's talking about funny. It's hilarious. It kills
You're all
me.
wearing backwards hats on Reddit boards.
Yeah, exactly. Alex is back in. Can we get a walking singing? It's the final countdown. Wow, that feels like that should be $100 request right there.
It's the final countdown. Oh yeah, it's the final countdown. Oh yeah.
You got to give me a couple of the da-na-na-nas.
Da-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na-na-na.
Oh, feed me more. Good to see you.
The tears. See that? There are the tears. Good Lord.
Well, they said earlier if he needed a hanky, now he does. Now Jake needs one. Wait a second, Jake says feed me more. So what you don't have, so what you don't have, Witherspoon. I'm Jake. We have the best corner depth in the division. You will be fine. Thanks for Kendrick.
Well, Kendrick plays in the slot. They have right now the best slot corner in the league, who's a safety, in Quentin Lake. He leads the entire league in pass breakups. So he wouldn't do anything for this team anyway because he couldn't play on the boundary.
But still, thank you.
But they're appreciative. I think that was genuine from people.
But I'm happy for him because you know what? He got a lot of shit from Rams fans. And I think this idea we're going to be all this, negative and everything. And, you guys know because you've seen the comment section, Troy Reader being a terrorist, all of that. I think there's a fine line between having sports hate and just being a little toxic. And I felt for Darion Kendrick because his whole time in LA was toxic. And this guy was a 6th round pick and he started 11 games for them. And I thought he was pretty damn good. And he just got beat out because there were 2 guys that they kept at slot and they didn't feel like he could play on the outside. So I'm happy. I wish him nothing but the best. He still follows me on Twitter, so major points for him. But yeah, I have nothing against him whatsoever. And I have nothing against Seattle for getting him. I think it was a good move.
Mike, we have a full arsenal coming your way here, so brace it. We got Double B Studio. The Sea Fools will beat the Fartinals. Kyler Swirly. Kyler McFlurry. And Kyler Black Ops Zombies. My personal favorite.
Yeah,
that's the best one.
I know. Actually, the McFlurry one's my favorite.
No maggot back in. Seattle rested starters at the end of the 3rd quarter. Doesn't get better than that, Brando.
One a little bit. Thursday night game, those guys are beat up and tired as hell. They can't get their bodies right. The Cardinals played a just real tough game right at the end. We had our guys kind of flexing out by about the 3rd quarter. We were like, oh, let's start to prepare for Thursday. May come in and factor a little bit, maybe not. We'll see on this upcoming game.
Chacho saying, Jake, thank you for being my friend and being a Rams fan.
Oh, of course, Chach. Anytime. Wow. Appreciate you being one of the more diehard fans that I have. I mean, you're in every single stream, regardless of subject matter. So I appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Chacho. Roger, coming in. The Rams really know how to make a season interesting. I will be at the Colts game, but really looking forward to seeing y'all next week. That's what I'm talking about, Roger.
Let's go, Roger.
We
Love
can't
Roger
wait
on this show.
Keep SoFi warm for us, brother. We're coming. We'll see you next week. Mark's coming in. Cards fan, but I think Seattle will win 35-24. Oh, Mark.
Damn.
No.
But
there's no confidence.
Defense, though. So you 35-20. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like Sammy Darnold's having a night in prime time.
Looks like we're actually going to get a fun Thursday night game.
Yeah, there's not a lot of confidence amongst the Cardinals fan base right now. A lot of them don't think we're going to win this game.
If Al Michaels is on track the whole game, that means it's a good game. When he starts talking about the moon and stuff, that's when you know it's off the rails. And it doesn't take much. God bless him.
Have we had good Thursday night games so far? I don't think we've had a bad one, right?
Now the Dolphins played the Bills kind of tight last week until
I felt like the Bills were just sort of batting them around.
Yeah, they were having fun.
They were playing with their food for sure.
Yeah.
Who was the one before that?
Who knows? Oh, it was Commanders getting destroyed by the Packers.
That wasn't a good game.
Yeah.
And then the one before that, I think, was a good game. That was Eagles
Dallas,
and
Philly.
Dallas,
that was Eagles,
Week 1.
Cowboys. That was fine.
Brian Rosenfield. Happy Fire Drew Petzing week to all who celebrate this Friday. Wow, he's thinking an insta firing after Thursday night, Mike.
I mean, it's a big year. It really is. I know there's a lot of Cardinal fans that want him fired. I mean, it really just going to be depend on Jonathan Gannon. I know he's backed him already 2 or 3 times in the past 2 or 3 days. So I'm curious to figure out if the fire continues to get hot, because right now it's pretty damn hot.
Mike,
Jesse,
I know Jesse got to go real quick. Mike, talk if you can a little bit about the fact you guys might have to move on from Kyler after this year, but the fact that you have to make that decision in light of the fact you're not sure about the OC having put him in the best positions for success. Maybe if it goes on this way.
Yeah, I mean, that's the unfortunate nature of this business here, right? I mean, when it really comes down to it, when you're struggling, a lot of people like to focus on the one. And here's the thing: like Drew Petzing does have a lot of flaws. It is not like I'm coming to the defense of the best offensive coordinator, underrated guy. No, he's got a lot of flaws within his game. He's a first-time offensive coordinator. First time, right? I know he was with the Browns, but since with the Arizona Cardinals. But yeah, I mean, with the whole Kyler Murray situation, if you really look at the film, there is plays to be made out on the field. I don't know what has happened from when the Cliff Kingsbury thing that happened to now. I think they just coached him up to kind of really put it in his mind that everything you do is working. Everything you do is okay, is great. But I think we need to kind of change that mantra and change the way these coaching is happening, because everything that he does, he can't do no wrong. And there's plays to be made on the field if you watch the all 22 film, and especially me and Brandon ended up breaking down a specific play at the last play where the Cardinals should have iced the game. Instead of going over to Zay Jones, he should have had that drag route or slant route over to Michael Wilson, which could have potentially sealed the game for the Cardinals. Is just that big question mark is, does Kyler Murray see past the offensive line, right? Specifically within the 5-yard mark, right? The drags, the slants, those type of things. So I know Kyler Murray stands are going to come to his aid for whatever reason. And I told Brandon, somebody screenshotted that and they put this freaking little, like these little lines, and they're like, he's not even close to the first down mark, but he had separation. You're telling me that he couldn't at least get 7 out of those 9 yards, 8 out of those 9 yards, which maybe will entice the Cardinals to potentially go for it on the 4th down, or maybe even kick a field goal. So I don't know. It's all going to depend on how it goes. I mean, this offense needs to get better. Kyler does have some blame to it, but right now, Cardinal fans are having one man, public enemy number 1, and it's Drew Petzing. So it is what it is. I don't care. I'm not going to lose sleep if they fire him. It's going to put us back into the same excuses of, he needs to learn a new offense, blah, 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 blah. So that's what I don't want to happen.
Jesse, I know you got to bounce, so I'm going to send you out on a high note. It's just my opinion, not mine, but just my opinion's my opinion. As a Hawks fan, it's annoying that I like Jesse.
Appreciate you.
I know.
Just my opinion.
We just picture a bunch of Lombardis in theory, and we get a cool guy. That's not the way it's going to go.
Not bad.
I appreciate you. All right, guys, I got to bounce. I appreciate everybody.
All right, brother. We'll see you next week.
Next week.
We'll see you in person as well. Can't wait. Sir. Yes, OMG. Sir. Love it. All right, see you, brother. A couple more to get to before we close up shop. Mark Jackson, fire Petzing and the O-line coach while they're at it. Mike, why not? Just do a whole do a whole house cleaning.
Clean a house. That's I'm down for that.
What was that, Ryan? Go ahead.
Usually one goes out with the other. They're usually
right.
A deal.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it seems to be the case. We'll see what ends up happening. they get it done. They get it done Thursday night, right? They're 3-1. So, there's going to be, I'm sure some sector of the fan base that doesn't care, but tough to fire an OC when you're 3-1. Mo Maggot, even as a Hawks fan, hate to see what happened to James Conner. Yeah. Terrible.
Brutal.
Awful injury, especially if it is going to finish off his career.
Yeah, and it's bad when it's one of those rare ones where they don't even show the replay, so.
Well, and just think about what James Conner's been through, right? Like he beat cancer. So, this guy has been an inspiration. I've always been a fan of his from, the time he was at Pitt. So that sucked to see that. Just one of the better dudes from what I've heard, like in the league, like a lot of people respect him, and it's a huge loss because it's not just a loss like where you're talking about just his talent, but just the leadership on the field. I mean, this guy is one of the leaders of this team, one of the veteran presences of this team. He can still lead on the sidelines, but it's a lot different than when you have him out there on the field.
Yeah.
Frogman giving us some clarification on Jack Bus. God Emperor QB of the United States.
There we go.
AKA Sammy Darnold. The Jack Bus. Love that. A lot of acronym. A lot of random acronyms, by the way, on this show that just continuously come out of nowhere, and I love it. That might be my new favorite. Ruiz again. Seattle Week 3 champs. Relax. Play a real team.
It's completely fair, and that's where I want to say that. Like I'm very excited by the turn that I've seen from the team the past couple of weeks, but we're in a prove it mode on this. Can we be better than just an average team this year? We know we can be that. Can we be a team to push for this division? That's a remain to be seen kind of situation. I think very fair to say you haven't proven that yet.
Well, they're about to, because they play the Cardinals, Tampa, Jacksonville. I mean, we'll know who the Seattle Seahawks are, and I'd imagine they're a very good team, Brandon.
All right, well, but to your point, you might beat those teams, but you might also still not quite, because look at Tampa Bay right now with the onset of injuries that they've had going across the board. They barely may get back worse by that point. They're down Godecki. They've got no Cody Mock. They've lost Cansey for the season now. Mike Evans will be out for that particular game.
Yeah.
So kind of, but maybe
it's
also
still a good team. I'd give you guys.
I'm going to take it. Don't get me wrong. I mean, this is also what we all were going to benefit this year from within our division, and why we've got the best division in football. Can I get a golf clap, gentlemen, on that? By the way,
it just continues to show.
It just it keeps proving itself over and over, year after year. So I'm with you on this. I'm not against you, but it is like those people will say when they look at it at that time, and there won't be necessarily correct, but I don't care. I'll take
the worst thing, by the way, is the Texans, because that's going to be a game that's tight. It's going to be a tough game. It's at 10 p.m., by the way. I don't know if you knew. It's a 10 p.m. game after the Jaguars game, and people aren't going to give you the respect because the Jaguars are 0-3, or the Texans are 0-3, but I'm telling you, that is a much better team than their record. That defense is problem. Their offensive line is terrible, but I think they'll figure it out at some point. I just don't know if it's going to be too late, but they're going to be in every game, Brandon. That's not going to be an easy game. Then you got Washington at Washington. So we're not talking about Washington State there. So it is going to be it's going to be a tough one. I mean, that's prime time. Then you got the Cardinals, the Rams. So yeah, Seattle, they're going to have to prove it, and I believe they will. I think they're a good football team.
I think Freddie agrees with it.
In second.
He's saying, Jake, you're spot on. And we can just insert that wherever we want. So how about I insert it right here? Jake, you're spot on. Seattle.
Yeah.
Brandon, I think you would agree, right? You're cool with that?
I would. Hey, I'd agree. I got all I got to say to that.
Enough said.
And Alex rounds us out to recap Week 3 with him saying, last Super before the meetup. See ya in LA. Yes, you will. We'll see everybody who snagged a ticket for the NFC West Roundtable in LA next week. Once again, as a reminder, link in the description below. We got a couple of extra tickets. We added it to the site. If you're on the fence, it's next week. Get after it. They're up there right now. We have one more, by the way. Jason comes in at the buzzer saying, hope you guys enjoyed the hangover pick. Oh, yeah, that was good.
Baby Jake was too good.
Yeah,
that was well done.
I mean, it makes sense. I'm the youngest. I know.
Well done, Jason. We'll see who's the baby next week when we're live. Will it be Jesse afterwards? Will it be Jake afterwards? We'll have to wait and see. But we also got to get through Week 4 first before we even get to that game. And because of that, we'll be back with you next week, Tuesday night, to recap it right where you are here on the NFC West Roundtable YouTube channel. On your way out the door, like button if you could, subscribe button if you could. And once again, link in the description below. If you want to snag a ticket, it's next week. Do it. We would love to see you. All right, that's going to do it for us. Week 3 recap has come and gone. Week 4 predictions are locked in. We'll see you here next week. For Mike, Jake, Jesse, and Brandon, I'm your host, Z-Bot. Thanks so much, as always, for tuning in to the NFC West Roundtable, and we'll see you on the next one.
Go Cards.
Roundtable Sports Network is your one-stop shop for all things NFL, with daily live shows covering all 8 divisions in the league, hosted by the best content creators on the web, all on one network. Catch the AFC East live every Monday at 7 p.m. and on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. The AFC West Roundtable live Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. The AFC North Roundtable live every Wednesday at 6 p.m. The AFC South Roundtable live Tuesdays at 7 p.m. The NFC East Roundtable live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. The NFC West Roundtable live at 9 p.m. on Tuesday nights. The NFC North Roundtable is at 6 p.m. on Wednesdays, and the NFC South Roundtable is live Tuesdays at 8 p.m. EST. And of course, fourth and forever, the flagship show of Roundtable Sports Network, covering all things NFL at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Roundtable Sports YouTube channel. Real coverage, real fans.